Alrighty, guys. Day 3. Congratulations for being here. Fantastic. A lot of you have been here every single session, which is awesome. As we say, 90% of success is just showing up. And we've been kind of brainstorming who we think should win the grand prize today. And I'm struggling. I'm really, really struggling to come up with a winner because you guys are so great. There's massive action that is being taken at the moment. And I've got through most of your videos. A special shout out to Kira and Sophie having massive, massive conversations. That's what happens after RCT is you just start doing the shit that you've been putting off. And if you look at really the processes, what we're doing is we're just getting back to you. It's where we're uninstalling all of the programming typically that we've picked up and just getting back to your authentic power, which is really, really exciting. And we've got a real mission to make these techniques mainstream, to make this like a modern necessity, and to really help people move to high performance. And high performance isn't necessarily what you think. Like a lot of people think high performance is pushing yourself and working, extremely hard, all of those things. Now, obviously that's part of it, but think about it. When you love what you do, you naturally work hard. Like with my team, I don't have to tell my team to work harder. I actually have to tell them to stop. Stop, go and get a massage, have a day off, rest and recover, all of that. Because when you're on true target, and that's what I want to talk to you about today, is things really start to flow. When you're on a false target, typically what happens is that you've got to push harder. And a false target, remember what we said yesterday, is where you're making life decisions from your wounds. And so if you're running away from something, we call this away from motivation. And away from motivation is there's something that I want to avoid at all costs. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be rejected. I don't want to be hurt. All of those things. Now, that can be your motivation. And the challenge with that is that you're kind of stuck in the past and you're backing away from the past. And so the motivation typically doesn't last. You'll have spurts of energy. And it's like I said yesterday, where if you're kind of going to war on yourself, you might win the battle. And that's the yo-yo. You might win the battle, but the war will continue. With these processes, what we want to be able to do is just stop the war. And that's what happens when you get on a true target, is we've stopped the war. A false target, what happens is that you just keep adding things. You add complexity. I don't know if anyone's experienced that, where you just keep adding more in your life. Or like the person that is like, oh, I need to make money, and they're frantic around making money because they don't want to go broke, and that's their motivation. They keep adding things, new projects, new projects, new projects. And what typically happens is that they move into overwhelm. I see this with a lot of business owners, especially, new business owners, and they launch so many businesses. They get kind of like this Branson effect and think, I need 400 businesses. And they're launching business after business after business. None of them typically are their passion. They're doing it for money because they think this is the path of least resistance. And they're getting more overwhelmed and more overwhelmed. Now, if you think about it, if you've got 5 businesses happening, you can pretty much only put 20% of your energy into those 5 businesses. Now, a business grows through crisis. So guess what? You're not going to push yourself through that crisis. You will typically do things that are just safe, okay? Because we've only got a certain amount of energy. You can have multiple businesses, sure, but you need systems, team, tech, leverage, all of those things. You need to make yourself redundant first, then use those resources to jump into the next play or whatever it is. So when we're on a false target, there can be an addiction to doing. And you may have experienced this in your life where you can't stop doing. You can't stay stationary, or you need to distract yourself with TV, food, or whatever it is, because when you stop, then all of the stuff starts to come up. And so that's an example of being on a false target. Like I said, you may want to write this down. We're on a false target when we make decisions from our wounds. Decisions like, I don't have enough. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I never follow through. It's not the right time. Has anyone made decisions like that? It's not the right time. Now that's really, really interesting, because typically what's going to happen is you're going to miss opportunities. And often it's not the right time because there's some fear that is underneath. Okay, so these are the things that we want to look at. We've got a certain amount of time on this planet, everybody. A lot of people don't realize that until they have a major crisis. But we've got a really short amount of time. Like, we sleep for 30% of our life. A lot of time now is spent on devices and with addictions. A lot of people are living in a self-induced hypnotic trance, like we talked about yesterday, where they're just distracting themselves to the reality that time is actually running out. Money is the easy part. Time is the issue. And so I run an event called Live It Now. And I created Live It Now as a mechanism, basically initially, to build my confidence when it came to presenting, as an outlet to fulfill my passion, which is to create a positive world one person at a time, and to really share a lot of these techniques that really helped me. But like in Live It Now, I share this, is that we are so disassociated. Like Milton Erickson said, this is the reason patients are patients is because, in a clinical sense, is because they've taken on board so much external programming, they've forgotten who they are. And so what we want to be able to do is start to work on this programming. Now, clarity doesn't come up front. A lot of people, before they make a change or a decision, they want clarity. Clarity doesn't happen up front. More often than not, we're in a trance of our wounds, like I was saying. And this is a real challenge, because I created Live It Now because people wake up in intensity, either positive intensity, or unfortunately, most people only wake up in negative intensity with a crisis. But the crisis is actually the key, because it gets us out of that trance. It gives us an opportunity to make new decisions, to put structures in place, like we said yesterday. Structures create outcomes, and to really create space and do the work. See, while you're stuck in a false target, or while you're making like life decisions from these wounds and these patterns, there's literally no space for clarity. There's often no space for anything else, because we are in that state of addiction. And everyone is addicted, by the way, everybody. Food is the ultimate addiction. And so when it comes to a true target, we need to do work. This is why I created my Fast Fit Free program. And this is why it's so powerful, is because I simply just get someone to go, okay, what's the area of life that you're avoiding? Brilliant, wealth and money. Okay, let's focus on that, which is counterproductive in the context of coaching and all that type of stuff. Typically, we're setting, goals in areas that we want. But we know, as you know from this training, that the area of life that we're avoiding, or we have the biggest war in, is taking up the most amount of energy. That's why we target that area, because we want to discover a true target. And how we discover a true target is by creating space. So often the challenge is that people go, oh, I don't know what I want, so I'm not going to make a decision. Or I'm not going to invest in myself into programs or whatever it is, because I just don't have the clarity yet. And my answer to that is that, A, while you sit on the fence, you're going to waste so much time and miss so many opportunities. You don't realize the work that needs to be done until you get into it. Like, from a business point of view, the fastest way to learn business is to do the business, not to sit in a classroom. The fastest way to work out what you want is to start moving and break out of these patterns, because on the other side, when you break out, is the clarity or success. So we're either going for clarity or success. And initially it's clarity. I hope that's making sense. So when we're in a false target, we're just going to keep distracting ourselves. And a person can do this for the rest of their life, where they just keep adding things, they add more complexity, more overwhelm, and they have to push more. And so what happens is burnout, exhaustion, and their reality then is, well, I just need to push harder. I need to work harder. But the challenge is it's just not going to work long term. Whereas a true target, we start to create space. We start to create space from these wounds, from these limiting patterns. And then what starts to rise is our true voice. You may have heard me say this, the rise of the authentic leader. Well, what's a rise of the authentic leader? The rise is that we've discovered your true voice, and we've turned the volume up. Not mum's voice, not dad's voice, not boss's voice, not some authority, not the news, whatever it is. We've got rid of all of these voices. or neutralize a lot of these voices. And then we turn the volume up of your true voice. Now, the first phase that's very, very interesting when it comes to transitioning from a false target to a true target, it's chaotic. There is often conflict. There is often challenge, because you think about it, okay? If you've been making decisions from your wounds, it means you've got wounded relationships. You may have done deals, okay? Or think about this, the obligation pattern. And the obligation pattern is like you're doing deals where you're obligated for the rest of your life to rescue that person or whatever it is. And so when we drop the wound, well, guess what? It can trigger that relationship because it's a wounded relationship. And what I mean by a wounded relationship is you both got the same wound, and that's how you're connecting. And so when we drop the wound, often there is initially discomfort, could be conflict, could be some type of challenge, could be some type of separation initially. But what it does, and this is the most exciting thing, is it creates space to create authentic relationships, not wounded relationships. And like we shared yesterday, authentic relations typically are a balance of giving and receiving. There is a flow of energy. And so these relationships end up energizing you instead of kind of reducing energy. And that's what we want to do. We want to transition to move from, instead of the wounded leader, to the authentic leader. And we want to be able to start creating authentic relationships. And as we've said, the authentic relationship needs to start with you. And how we do that is by creating space, okay, and turn that true voice up. And this is what Fast Fit Free is all about, is an online program with 3 courses: Mindset and Wealth Accelerator, Mindset and Health Accelerator, and Mindset and Relationship Accelerator. So those 3 areas, either wealth, health, or relationships. And what I get people to do is choose the area that they're avoiding at all costs, and we start there. And what's great about this program is that we have like a weekly call like this, where we are systematically working and holding you accountable to that specific area of life with this program, with this intensive program that is designed to help you uncover all of these patterns. And the objective of this program is to focus on those 3 areas to create space so that we can help you uncover a true target. And then we start to rise as the authentic leader. And that's how we start to create freedom in life and business. And you've probably seen all these results, magical results that are happening with our clients. And I'm not just saying, like, you know, a lot of coaching organizations and training organizations, they get results with maybe 20 to 30% of their clients. We're getting incredible results with 100% of our clients that are in these groups, which is really, really exciting, because we've got the formula that I shared with you yesterday, which is education based on results, one-to-one mentoring and RCT, one-on-one RCT, okay, being part of mastermind groups and communities, and really building your high performance network. Okay, so the objective here is that we need to get you on a true target. It doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes there can be conflict. Okay, there can be challenges, but remember what we do. We use the conflict, we use the challenge to be able to create more space. Whereas what a lot of people do when it comes to conflict, they isolate, they exit, they don't ask for help, they do the independent thing. I want to change that with you guys on this call. We don't do that anymore, because this gives us the opportunity to be able to get to the next level, if you will, of the video game that we talked about. So we take a gaming approach. Now, when we transition to a true target, with a false target, like we said, we're adding things, but when we transition to a true target, we're doing the opposite. We're dropping things. And the first phase is that we're dropping wounds. People may drop away initially. And as I said, the true voice starts to come up. When we make life decisions from that true voice, suddenly we just get on this true target. And the most amazing thing is this, is that everything starts to flow. It becomes simple. It becomes easy. You uncover your passion. You move to a new level of leadership. Your energy is overflowing. So when you get into new environments, you attract new people and new opportunities. So the purpose of Fast Fit Free is to get you here to overflow with energy, overflow with unconditional love, and overflow with abundance, an abundance of opportunities, because the basic stresses are handled. And if you think in wealth, health, and relationships, there's only a couple of habits that if you condition those habits in each of those areas, which is what Fast Fit Free is all about, Long-term, these habits compound into enormous success, enormous opportunities for freedom. So I'm hoping that makes sense to you guys. This is so important, transitioning from a false target to a true target. Majority of the population are on a false target, by the way. And again, a false target is making decisions from wounds. So give me a yes if this makes sense to everybody. Awesome, 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 awesome. So the next thing is what I call the rise of the authentic leader. Now, the rise of the authentic leader is when we've started to create space, is what I've said to you before. So with Fast Fit Free, we create space, we move into overflow, we turn up the true voice. As we turn up the true voice, a new leadership, a new level of leadership and clarity starts to evolve. And as I said, I call this the rise of the authentic leader. I believe this is for the new world. This is a leader for the new world. Today is all about success. Day 3 is all about success. My definition of success is a little bit different. The old model of success that you used to see online was, oh, you know, this person with all these cars, private jets, all of that type of stuff, partying. I think that model's changing. To me, what I think success is this, is that where we have been able to develop that internal authentic relationship. We've been able to turn up that true voice. We're overflowing around our health, wealth, and relationships. We've created space, but also we've started to rise as a leader. And this is what I believe the leaders will be over the next 10 years for this new accelerated world. So number one, they're living a charged life. They're moving into overflow. And you can see this, you can see what's happening in health. You can see all of the advancements that are happening right now, even with, our fasting programs, our, mindset and health accelerator, which is part of Fast Fit Free. All of these things are starting to become mainstream. People are not drinking. It's not cool to drink as much as it used to be compared to the old days. We're moving into optimization and high performance. So there is a focus on living a charged life, especially with the high achievers at the top level, then it spills down, and moving into overflow. The new leaders of the new world will have an understanding of the unconscious mind because it is just so powerful. In fact, if you don't have an understanding of the unconscious mind, I believe you won't be able to compete at the highest level. Having the tools to turn your limiting patterns into patterns of power on yourself and other people. Imagine that. Imagine being able to have these tools to be able to release what's holding you back like that, and then to be able to choose the emotional state that you want in whatever context it is. And we have these tools. This is what we teach you in our Platinum package, and more specifically, Excellence Now. I believe authentic leaders lead by example. So what does that mean? We go first. We do the work first. We shine a light in the darkness for other people. That's what I believe authentic leaders do. So we do the emotional work first, everybody. This is the thing. So many leaders are focused on the doing part. They're missing what's behind the scenes. This is why my clients are getting unbelievable results, because we look at the crisis, we look at the challenge, and then we do the mindset work first. We look at the unconscious mind, we uncover these patterns that are dormant, we shift the energy, and then we focus on doing. Okay, so this is going first. It's doing the emotional work or the mindset work first and being an example to your team. You can see there's this series, I've mentioned it before, Billions, that has come out. And it's on Stan, and don't judge me, like the characters are monsters, okay? Especially the billionaires, they're monsters. But there is this, and forgive me if I've shared this, I've run so many events recently, but there is this one, there's this one lady in there, and her name's Wendy, and she's a high performance coach. And as you progressively watch this series, you just see how powerful she is. She's actually his secret weapon. And it's so interesting. Remember I said structures create outcomes. So Axe is highly emotional. When you increase emotion, you decrease intelligence. And he knows this. He knows that left to his own devices, he will burn the house down. But he gets triggered, his emotions come up, he walks straight into Wendy, and Wendy shifts them. And then he gets all of this clarity. This is Breakout to Success, everybody. Gets all of this clarity, then goes back in the meeting, and then dominates. This is going to be the new world, everybody. This is what authentic leaders do. They do the emotional work first before jumping into doing. They use crises, they use setbacks. And then what starts to happen is everything starts to flow. A lot of you are seeing this, especially with Kira and Sophie. We've done some mindset work, and also Kaz, we've done some mindset work, and then all of a sudden you're doing the things that you've been putting off. And also what you'll notice is it becomes easier because we've got rid of the wound, we've got rid of the charge underneath. Remember, there can only be conflict if two people have got the same wound. If we drop the wound, it's like fighting fire with water. There's just simply no fight. Everyone take a deep breath in and out. Is this making sense to everybody? See, the new approach is to use the situations, is to get excited, not to run away from these patterns, but to use these situations to be able to take yourself to the next level. Then all of a sudden, everything starts to flow and you start to attract all of these amazing opportunities. The most incredible leaders are coaches, everybody. The greatest managers are coaches. To be able to motivate their staff, to be able to get them on a true target, to be able to ask the right questions, to put a structure in place that supports follow through. The greatest parents are coaches. What we're also going to see is people having the tools to be able to share a message, to be able to walk on stage because their true voice is so loud, to be able to share an authentic message that moves the masses. These are the skills that are going to become so important for leaders in the future. What we're seeing is passionate entrepreneurs that treat themselves like businesses. Passionate entrepreneurs that are connected to an authentic mission. And often that authentic mission, as you see the last point here, is making an impact, is serving, is making a difference. Not from a rescuing point of view. That's more the wounded thing, but because you are in overflow of energy, overflow of love, and overflow of abundance. And then all of the concepts just start to come through. See, we have all of the answers, everybody. We're just looking in the wrong place. And as I said to you over this challenge, so many people never get to experience their best version, let alone a mission. We want to change that. And we're here to create a positive world, one person at a time, but to create an environment that isn't just, rah, and then we leave you. No, we want to be with you with the journey over the long term, which is why with our platinum package, we have lifetime resets. It is, it's a package that stays with you for the rest of your life. But we've set this up because we see this as the future. Even in HR, we believe there's going to be a new department in HR, which will be high performance psychology. And we think RCT, Rapid Change Technologies, is the vehicle that it's going to be able to do that. So that's why we're so passionate about training leaders in RCT and all of this stuff so that you are armed with all of this information. And whether you're in an organization, you're going to be like skyrocketing, or you might be building side hustles and all of these different things. But a lot of people jump in to build side hustles, but they haven't done this work. So they just keep adding things and adding things and adding things on a false target. And it's just like pushing shit uphill. So I hope that makes sense. This is what I believe leaders will need. These are the skill sets that I believe that we will need in this new accelerated world, because the old models are not working, everybody. The industrial revolution is over. And people are still in that mindset. Like there's this whole concept at the moment that people are never going to be able to buy their dream home. They're going to be renting for the rest of their life. That's the industrial revolution thinking. So if you're back in the industrial revolution thinking that someone's going to save you, yeah, you're right. But this new world requires a new level of leadership, an accelerated level of leadership. And the accelerated level of leadership is you're thinking faster. You're making decisions faster. You're jumping into action faster. You're taking advantage of all of these opportunities and you're bolting all of these opportunities in. But most importantly, you are on a true target. So therefore, burnout, exhaustion becomes a thing of the past. Take a deep breath in, everybody. Give yourself a pat, wake yourself up. We'll continue on. I hope this is interesting. So 3 stages of releasing your authentic power, okay? First phase is wounded self. And as I said, most of the population is a wounded self. And they're unconscious, you can see that, they're unconscious that they're making life decisions from their wounds. And so they just keep repeating their patterns, or conversely, they keep their wounds in check with suppressions. And the suppressions or addictions, it might be food, it might be alcohol, it might be drugs, the self-medication phase. And then suddenly what happens is self-medication doesn't work anymore. And so we either need more of the self-medication, more alcohol, more drugs, more food, whatever it is, more TV. When that doesn't work because the wound's growing, then what happens is often pharmacology, all of those different things. And so we're not necessarily dealing with the root cause of where these patterns started. There is more just a suppression, a distraction, a management of it. And so the challenge that's going to happen is that if you're making life decisions from wounds, as I said to you before, the crisis is just going to get bigger. And this is where someone has a wealth crisis. Unfortunately, that's when I get the call, is when someone's about to go bankrupt, I get the call. And then people say, yeah, I'm willing to invest in your mentoring and all of that type of stuff. And I'm like, I'm good at survival coaching. Why didn't you call me before? Why don't we do the work? I'm great at survival coaching. I'm great at pulling a rabbit out of the hat, but I'm even better at thrival coaching. And that's where, you might be getting average results. It's okay. And I can help you move to a new level. I can help you to go from average to excellence. And I can do that rapidly. But at the same time, I'm good at pulling a rabbit out of the hat. 80 to 90% of the population are operating at wounded self. Isn't that interesting? And the whole structure is set up for that, which is wounded self. We're going to look for answers externally instead of going internally, okay? i.e. some type of external suppression. So the wounded self, if you're operating from wounded self, the wound's going to wake you up in some way. Okay, we just don't want the crisis to be too big. It's like I said, I created Live It Now as a positive crisis to wake people up and say, you've got a certain amount of time. Let's put a new structure in place. Let's make some new decisions. Let's do the work. The technology is here. There is a transition from wounded self to best version of self. Now, best version of self is often really uncomfortable because suddenly we become conscious, and it can be overwhelming. Because suddenly we realize, oh my God, I've got all of these limiting patterns. I've got all of these limiting and negative emotions, and they've been running untethered. I've got all of these wounded relationships around me, and it can be really overwhelming. And in fact, what can then start to happen, and some of you perfectionists might be doing this right now, a war starts between wounded self and best version. And the war is, I'm only good if I'm best version. I'm terrible if I'm wounded, okay? And so that's where the war starts. And the yo-yo effect starts to happen. Now you'll see what's consistent with wounded self and best version of self is a focus on self. And that's where wounded self people, they'll make it about themselves. Even the wounded self people that are rescuing, it's actually about themselves and avoiding and distracting. And so there is this war that starts to happen. And like I said, if you go to war, you'll just perpetuate the war. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to bring wounded self and best version of self together and create a new relationship, because you can't have night without day, everybody. This is the interesting thing. Like, how you fully experience happiness is because you've experienced some sadness. It's the opposite polarity. But as we bring these two together, what's interesting, a neutralization effect. So I want you to see that is when wounded self and best version of self come together, a fusion happens, okay? And this is where an integration process happens. And then the next phase is mission. Notice it's the opposite polarity here. We've got wounded self, we've got best version of self, but then mission is others. Isn't that interesting? And the reason is that we've got more space. We've got more space to be able to give because we've stopped the war. And what I'm talking about when it comes to mission is that we've got space, but we're also overflowing. So we're not in that rescuing mode. Someone that is in mission phase will work out a problem to be able to serve and make a difference, but it's a balance between giving and receiving. So they're going to live in abundance, but at the same time, they're going to make an impact. Whereas typically a rescuer will be exhausted. They're addicted to giving because they feel in control when they're giving. When it comes to receiving, oh my God, I feel guilty. I feel out of control. All of that stuff is gone. There is abundance. There is a balance of giving and receiving. And because there is a balance of giving and receiving, there is an energetic flow. So I'm not burning out. I'm not exhausted, and I'm on a true target. And because I'm on a true target, I'm passionate. I'm excited. That's what I'm driven by. Creativity, excitement, passion, not fear, not avoidance, not rejection, not beliefs like I don't want to be alone, I don't want to be hurt, I don't want to die, all of that type of stuff. I don't want to go bankrupt. That's an away from, that's wounded self, everybody. Give me a yes if this is making sense and you're liking it. Do you guys like this? Just want to see if I've got everyone still here. I'm talking so much. Jamie, loving it. Kazi, you are loving it massively. Jenny's loving it. Awesome. So what if we could change, the model that it's not about working harder? It's about unlocking your authentic power. It's about unlocking your authentic power, getting on a true target. And what if, when you're on a true target, things just start to flow? All the basic stresses are handled, you feel safe. And you're able to tap into your true genius because we've created space. Isn't that interesting? Whereas the old model and the old personal development model, by the way, is push yourself to exhaustion. Keep pushing, work harder, all of that type of stuff. What I'm saying to you is that if you get this right, you'll be working hard, but it won't feel like you're working hard. You'll be energized. You'll be able to get to the end of the day and you will feel energized. I say this to my coaches. When I train coaches, I say, if you can't get to the end of the day after, say, 5 or 6 clients and feel energized, there's an emotional leakage. There's a wound. Your clients have mirrored a wound, an emotional leakage. Now, what do? We use that. We use that to heal the wounds. We use relationships to heal the patterns. Is this making sense, everybody? Guess what? The relationships that we attract give us the opportunity to heal wounded self. Okay, but you can't do it solo. You need a team, you need a structure. You need someone like me or my team working with you to use these situations. Business owners, we use the conflicts and challenges in the business, as I said, again, to heal wounded self, to move to mission. If you've got a business, it's just on leverage because your unconscious mind's right in front of you. So everyone take a deep breath in and out. So the objective of Fast Fit Free is to heal this, is to heal wounded self and best version of self, to then unlock your authentic power. And then we want to help you rise to a new level of leadership, if that makes sense. And then ultimately create freedom in life and business, which is what I believe we're meant to have. Like, kids grow up, they feel totally free. They believe anything is possible. We're meant to experience life like that. We're not meant to experience this stress and all of those things. And some people, people in courses have said that to me. Oh, Matt, you've got to be responsible. And I'm like, what type of responsibility are we talking about? The ability to respond or taking a load of shit from other people? That's not your stuff. And being obligated for the rest of your life. No, I believe we're meant to be like kids. And that's why when we do this work, this RCT work, we unlock this energy and you become more like a kid, a little troublemaker. We're meant to be free. We're designed to be free. It's all of this stuff is just man-made. Like I said yesterday, shortages, scarcity, it's built into the system. We live in an unbelievably abundant universe. In fact, it's raining abundance. All that we've got to do is take that umbrella that we've got, which is our wounds, throw that umbrella away and really stand up with a new level of leadership, okay, and take advantage of all of these incredible opportunities that are around us right now. But we won't if we're making life decisions from our wounds. Okay, so moving on. So let's look at the opposite polarity. So if we remember what we were just sharing, we've got wounded self, we've got best version of self. Now, wounded self, we often attack. We go, well, I can't be wounded. But what if the wound's the key? Well, A, the wound wakes us up. But also, what if the wound gives us the opportunity or the blueprint to be able to transition to the next polarity? So if we look at this, if you're making decisions from your wounds, or are you making decisions from your superpowers? And to me, the superpower is the opposite polarity. So what's the opposite of anger? Peace. So if you've got patterns of anger, whether you're expressing, okay, aggression, or you're internalizing it. Some people say to me, Matt, well, I'm not angry. And I'm like, well, let's look at the little voice inside of your head and how you're treating yourself. And you might be nice to everyone, you might be quiet as a mouse, but if we look internally, you are beating the absolute shit out of yourself. So we can internalize anger, which ultimately causes depression and unfulfilled expectations, or we can be externalizing it, which can obviously destroy relationships relationships, because when you increase emotion, you decrease intelligence. So the opposite of anger is peace. So what if we've come into this world, we've taken on board these patterns, and the real reason is that we need to learn the opposite polarity. Okay, sadness, like we've mentioned, the opposite of sadness is happiness. So if you've got patterns of sadness and that's the main polarity that has been passed on generation after generation, well, what if you're here? What if you're the pioneer of your family tree to turn sadness into happiness and then pass on happiness, okay, for the future, that pattern. Hurt, the opposite of hurt is acceptance. Okay, if we look at hurt, there's a pattern of rejection. And we can carry that hurt from relationship to relationship, obviously passed down generation after generation. But the opportunity for you is love and acceptance. Fear, the opposite of fear is to build safety from within and certainty and courage. Okay, by facing this stuff. The opposite of guilt is self-worth. If I've got a pattern of guilt, I'll often put myself last. I'll set up relationships where I'm obligated and I'll feel guilty receiving. So I won't receive the love that is available in front of me, and I won't receive the abundance that's available in front of me. There'll literally be a block around this. This was my big one, by the way. When it came to business, I wasn't able to really, sell effectively or promote myself effectively because I had this massive pattern of guilt. And so when someone tried to give something to me, whether it be a compliment or buy me lunch or give me a present, oh my God, this guilt would start to come up. And so they give me a compliment internally, I'd just be like, bullshit. Or they went and paid for dinner, then I'd be like, oh my God, no, let me pay for dinner. Please, let me pay for dinner, because it was triggering my patterns around guilty receiving. Or if they gave me a present, oh my God, now I'm obligated, I have to buy you a better present. Even when it came to my business, when I'd be pitching my services, obviously I was running a team, I needed revenue and I would sell my packages. And in some cases, I would get stuck in the other person's wound and their story and feel sorry for them and go, oh my God, you poor thing, don't worry about it. I'll coach you for free. And then all of a sudden I'm up, 1 a.m. in the morning coaching these people, and they don't even show up for their appointments. They don't execute or anything like that. So for me, and if I look at my family tree, if I look at generationally, guilt and sadness was so big that was passed on generation. Anger was a protection, but underneath anger was this enormous amount of guilt and sadness. And so if we look at it, the opposite for me is a state of peace. The opposite is, self-worth, enormous amounts of self-worth and happiness. Now, what do I teach? I teach people how to create more peace inside with RCT. I teach people how to get on a true target and be happy. I teach people how to receive and really build their confidence when it comes to being able to receive love and receive abundance. Wounds become superpowers, everybody. This is the thing. If I look at when I lost my father at 13 years old, I was angry, I was so sad, and I felt so guilty. If I kept making life decisions from anger and sadness and guilt, I would not be here. In fact, I was on track to not be here. But what did I do? I did the work. I found the best mindset coaches. I found the best mechanics of the mind. I put myself in environments. I read as much as I possibly could. And then I turned my wounds into my superpowers, and I created a new metaphor, a new purpose. And that was live it now. My last conversation that my dad had to me was, Matt, the key to life is to live it now. And now I've created an event that is a symbol of living it now. It's a symbol that we have a short amount of time. And it's what we do in these moments, in these courses right now. It's these decisions right now that will change your destiny. And the challenge is that it doesn't feel comfortable, because when you make decisions like this, these wounds trigger. These wounds want to be in charge. The fear, the guilt, the hurt, whatever it is, when you're about to face them or make new decisions, they fire. And so you have all of those beliefs that start to come up. Oh, it's not the right time. I don't have enough money, all of that type of stuff. But when you look at someone's patterns, they're in suppression. They've got the money. They can afford $50 a week or $100 a week or whatever it is. But the wounds are just so strong. And this is what I'm going to say to you is that you can have an opportunity to kind of move from, the comfort of this training to then be able to make a decision. And I'd say to you, attack these wounds. Attack these wounds initially, and then we're going to create peace and bring through the opposite polarity. Imagine that. Imagine being able to heal wounded self, best version of self, and have this polarity, more peace, more happiness, more love and acceptance, more safety and certainty, enormous amounts of self-worth, and making life decisions with these patterns. Because if you make life decisions with peace, you attract more peace. Happiness, you attract more happiness. Love and acceptance, you attract more love and acceptance. However, you make life decisions from anger, you'll attract more anger, including people. Sadness, you'll attract more sadness. So what it means is that we've got to take a leadership position. And it's really, really challenging when you're stuck in wounded self because you won't feel like doing it. And I always say, the question is, who's winning right now? Is it your wounds or is it, okay, your mission? And some people say to me, Matt, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And it's really, really simple. If I go back to these slides, all that you have to do, if you're a wounded self and you don't have clarity and you don't know what to do, all you've got to do is focus on best version. Okay, and you got to, and what I teach my clients to do is this: just go, okay, which area of life am I avoiding? Wealth, health, or relationships? Great. Let's choose the one that you're avoiding, and this is what we do in Fast Fit Free. Let's choose the one that you're avoiding, and let's work out what best version of wealth is, or best version of health is, or best version of relationships. We know that when we tackle that one, the clarity is going to start to unfold. Remember, clarity doesn't come up front, it happens on the journey. And so I say to my clients, if they go, I don't know, let's focus on either best version, or let's focus on mission, or let's focus on both. That's simple, okay? Because we know the clarity will come once we start doing the work, once we start moving, okay? Remember, break out to success. Once we break out, that's when we get clarity, which leads to success. Take a deep breath in. Okay, so this is kind of the first phase, what we want to do. We want to turn our wounds into our superpowers. Hope you're enjoying this, guys. Okay, next one. I want you to start to think about a 90-day breakout goal. So I want you to grab your books, everybody. I want you to think of not just the area of life that we've been talking about. I want you to think of health, wealth, and relationships. Imagine you turned all of your wounds into your superpowers. You created space. And I want you to think of a 90-day breakout goal. Imagine you joined Fast Fit Free or Platinum and you really started to work on this. You put an amazing structure in place. So you're getting education based on results, you're getting one-on-one RCT work, you're part of a mastermind, and we're catching up weekly. And then you're also building your network through our networks and other networks, and you've built this really high-performance network. You've started to shift the wounded relationships. You've started to attract authentic relationships. I just want you to imagine what that would look like in the next 90 days. Imagine you've chosen the area of life you're avoiding, you've attacked it, and you've worked on it, and you've healed the war inside. And a breakout goal, we're just simply answering these two questions. Who are you becoming? What's the next level of leadership? I want you to write this down, just in point form. You can put the date, 90 days in the future. You can put 6 months if you want. It doesn't really matter. But I want you to first and foremost think, who are you becoming? Imagine you handle those basic stresses around health, wealth, and relationships. Who are you becoming? What's the next level of leadership? What's the opposite of the wounds, everybody? Like if your family tree has been plagued by anger, what's the opposite of the wound? Well, peace. What does that look like from a leadership point of view? If it's sadness, and that's been passed on generation after generation, well, the opposite polarity is happiness. What's that look like as a leader? If you are overflowing with happiness? If it's fear, imagine you feel so safe inside and you've got this certainty and clarity unfolding. And what will also follow after that is like this courage, making new decisions rapidly. So what does that look like? If it's guilt, imagine you've got a supreme level of self-worth. How does that look like, feel like, sound like? So imagine the next 90 days, you made a decision. You're like, I'm gonna give this a go. I'm gonna jump into this. I'm gonna see what my potential is. Like I said, most people, they never get to experience their best version, let alone mission. Imagine you jumped in and said, you know what, I'm gonna get the best mechanics of the mind. I'm going to get the best mechanics around nutrition. I'm going to get the best mechanics around movement, which we have in our network and part of Fast Fit Free. Imagine you decided that. You're like, I'm going to actually discover my potential? And I want you to think 90 days, 6 months, put the date down, whatever it is. The first thing is we look at who you're becoming or your leadership. If you want to change your life, it comes down to your leadership. You just need to change your leadership in that area of life. But also it's changing your polarity or energy. If you want to improve your health, you've just got to put more energy into your health. If you want to improve your relationships, more energy in your relationships. If it's your wealth, more energy in your wealth. But it's not fear. It's not guilt. It's not hurt. It's not sadness. What if we were to put happiness in that area, excitement in that area, passion in that area, certainty in that area, a feeling of safety and courage in that area, supreme levels of self-worth? That's what we mean by who you are becoming. When we change the polarity inside, your leadership changes. So just imagine in the next 90 days, 6 months, we're working on each of those areas, health, wealth, or relationships, and you are breaking out to a new level of success. And I want you to then look at the results now. What would the results be? So you've taken a new level of leadership. You've risen to a new level of authentic power, a new level of authentic leadership. You've attracted authentic relationships. What are the results? If it's a wealth area, put a monetary figure there. Have you doubled your income? Have you increased your profits if you've got a business? This is the thing. Like in our Mindset and Wealth Accelerator, that's part of Fast Fit Free that you get, we've had people do over 475,000 within 6 weeks working as a team. Amazing. We've had people almost doing $1 million months when they've only just started their business like 12 months before. And this is people doing this Mindset and Wealth Accelerator. It's one of our cheapest programs that we've got. You know, I've got a client at the moment that couldn't afford mentoring with me 10 months ago now. And he had to, or they had to, it's a couple, Heidi and Adam, they had to go and beg their parents to be able to get some money to have mentoring with me. And what did I do? The Mindset and Wealth Accelerator stuff with them. They now did a deal where they are making $1 million net. On top of all of the expenses. They're now financially free for the rest of their life. They did this in 10 months. This is 10 months ago. Before that, they were destitute. Now, what did we do? Switch the polarity, okay? Turn the wounds into the superpowers. Put a really powerful structure around them, and then strategy, and I help them with strategy. The exact same stuff that's in the Mindset and Wealth Accelerator is just what I did with them one-on-one. How cool is that? We've had people that are losing, you may have seen a post, Angie's on here at the moment, she's lost like 16 kilos. Diane lost 10 kilos. We've had people in the Mindset and Health Accelerator program as part of Fast Fit Free, learn how to swim, do triathlons, all of these amazing things. Why? We switched on the polarity. And so I want you to look at this in the next 90 days, 6 months. Who are you becoming? Imagine you jumped into Fast Fit Free, you made decisions, you worked on yourself. We surrounded you with the best mechanics, the best high performance network. And I just want you to see, who are you becoming? Start to see it on the movie screen of your mind. That is the key. That's why we write it down, everybody, so you can see it here. So we can create a new story that starts to play over and over and over again. And we know once we've had an idea that turns into a story, it then turns into a belief system. Once it turns into a belief system, that plays automatically and it starts to grow. That's why we do this belief system work. First thing is that we want to create space by getting rid of and releasing all the old programming, but then we want to put new ideas that turn into stories, that turn into belief systems. So again, I want you to keep writing. I want you to make it more inspiring. So who are you becoming in the next 90 days, 6 months? Visualize it, see yourself. The rise of the authentic leader. Imagine you've got new relationships around you. You've attracted authentic relationships and you are progressively moving to high performance. And imagine it's not about pushing anymore. What's happening is that this overflow is happening. So you're overflowing with energy, overflowing with unconditional love, you're overflowing with abundance, and it's growing and things are starting to flow. You're dropping things that are no longer working. You're moving to simplicity and flow. You're making bigger decisions. Now, what are the results? I want you to write down what are the results that you would see around health, wealth, or relationships, the specific results. Money, put the number down. If it's health, it might be a certain size. It might be you're feeling a certain energy when it comes to health. It might be certain habits that you have now that you love doing. Remember, when it comes to health, the people that follow through, they actually love doing it. They look forward to eating really healthy foods. They look forward to moving. Okay, they've integrated within themselves. They've changed their self-image. They've changed their identity of who they are. If it's the wealth area of life, I want you to think about, imagine all of those old decisions are gone, that I'm not smart enough, I'm not good with money, money's the root of all evil. Imagine all that stuff's gone. You love it. You actually love it. You love budgeting. You love investing. You love learning. Imagine that. Because when you love stuff, you follow through, you're naturally disciplined. Imagine these results are starting to flow through. And this is what Fast Fit Free does, everybody. This is the process of this. So keep writing. You've got about 1 minute. I'm going to give you 1 more minute, and then I want to hear from you guys. So your time starts now. Go for it. All righty, guys. Welcome back. I want to hear from some people. How did we go? Who wants to jump in? Who would like to share their breakout goal for the next 90 days or 6 months? Cassie, yeah, please unmute yourself. Let's hear from you.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, everyone. All right. So in the area of wealth is what I chose. So I am happy, safe, certain, and have clarity and supreme level of self-worth. I attract clients that are excited to pay $2,500 for 12 sessions of life coaching. I'm earning $15,000 a month from coaching, and I'm attracting money from known and unknown sources. I'm attracting a team, and we are working from the heart space to lead parents through their wounds to parent consciously. I love money. I love investing. I love what opportunities money creates for me and allows me to provide for others.
Fantastic. What's the big thing for you? Like when you look at that goal, can you hear me?
Say that one more time, please.
Yeah. What's the big thing for you when you look at that goal? Like, what's the big thing? The one big thing.
The one big thing for me is knowing my self-worth in that, and knowing that I'm worthy of, and there it is, and just knowing that I'm worthy.
Bingo. So the biggest one that we're going to work on is getting rid of that guilt, which will then open up. There's often one big thing in these goals, everybody, that if you shift that, it just opens everything up.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well done, everybody. E-clap. Who else would like to share? Maybe 2 more people. I'd love to hear from you. Two more people. Who would like to share? Remember, we've still got this prize.
I'll go.
Who'd like to share? Awesome. Who is that? Sorry.
Ange.
Awesome. So unmute yourself, Ange, and we are unmuted. Let's see you if possible. If not, that's okay.
Yeah, no, okay. I'll put on the camera. Okay.
Hello. So 90 days or 6 months, what area of life is it? As I said, it could be multiple areas. It's completely up to you.
Strictly health, as you know, I'm working towards a big goal. Strictly 90 days from now, I would like to be 20 kilos lighter, which will top my scales at about, then I will have lost 35 kilos in total.
Awesome.
I will be in the gym. Well, I'm in the gym 3 days a week. I'm aiming to be in the gym 5 days by then. I'm on the verge of enjoying the gym, which is not something that I'm enjoying at the moment. However, I'm getting there slowly.
Awesome.
I will have engaged a personal trainer so that they can make sure that I do get to the gym twice a week with them, and the other 3 is up to me to get there. I'll be healthier, skinnier, and be able to share my story with people that are doing it hard, trying to get it across the line at losing weight.
So
Showing them that it is possible with support, of course.
awesome. What's the one big thing in that goal? Like if we look at it, what's the one big thing that needs to shift? Like you're already doing it. Like you've done enormous stuff in the last couple of years. Like, you know, Ange was doing Fast Fit Free. I posted this actually yesterday. Ange is doing Fast Fit Free. One of the courses in there is the Relationship Accelerator. And she's like, no, Matt, I'm not looking at the relationship at all. You can't make me. A couple of weeks later, she's got a relationship. Business has expanded, lost 16 kilos since Ultimate Life Recharge. But what we want to look at is the next level of that. And so if I could, you know, I might just jump in and give you some feedback.
Please.
This belief that it's hard.
Oh, look, it's 80 kilos of weight loss is big numbers. We're not talking, you know, and without support, as in without a gastric band, a bypass, a surgery of some sort, it's huge.
So now we've got the story. Is everyone seeing that?
Okay.
Okay. So this is the story. It's huge. So what we've got is a comparison.
Okay.
All righty. So there's this whole comparison that's happening. It's hard, this whole story, all of that type of stuff. Okay. That's what I'd be working on.
Okay.
Because the challenge is it won't be a long-term thing with this type of pattern, which is that, oh, you know, it's so hard. Once you take the foot off the acceleration, then the patterns will go back. So there's two things that I'd be looking at when it comes to this is the comparison that it's hard, you know, the belief that it's hard, and also the comparison to others and all of that type of stuff. That's the next level. And then what you'll find with that shift, everything starts to flow. Like you're seeing glimpses of towards motivation at the moment. We want to move it to that your identity is shifted and you love this. It's not forcing yourself to go to the gym anymore. It's like you love it. In fact, you can't wait to be there. It becomes like your number one priority. You wake up in the morning and you're excited to get there. Like, you know, think of that excitement, everybody, where some people, they think about a movie or something like that they can't wait to watch. That's the type of excitement towards motivation that's shifting. Okay. And so there's some patterns coming up and you are so strong. It's just getting back and doing the next level breakout. And that's all it is for you, Ange. You're doing the exercise, you're doing the activities, all of that type of stuff. It's just some mindset work. We've got a session today anyway that we can work on this, which is great. Excellent. Okay, big E-clap, big round of applause, everybody. Awesome. Maybe one more person. Who would like to share? Who would like to share their 90-day or 6-month breakout goal?
Yeah, I'll go.
Awesome. Who is that?
That's me.
Oh, hello, Jane. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, 90 days or 6 months. What's your breakout goal?
I've got an authentic person. Sorry.
No, you're doing well. Take a deep breath in and out. I love your background. What is that? What's on the wall? Are they dream catchers? I can't quite see.
I've got 2 drums. Native American Indian drums. I made one. I bought one.
Awesome. Well, it's time to start drumming the beat of your heart. We're talking relationships. Is that correct?
I did wealth, but I think everything at the moment. Sorry.
No, you're doing well. Really well.
It's been very challenging times. So I'm safe. I have safety and certainty. I love and accept myself and others. My life unfolds in ways I could never imagine. I'm making $3,000 a week after tax. I have healthy boundaries in place. I'm calm in my mind and my body and confident. And then I've got create my new story. I'm becoming a queen, overflowing with energy and abundance. My body is toned and cut. I'm muscular and strong. I love budgeting and learning about money. I know my worth, $150 an hour. I'm attracting new and inspiring people. And I'm attracting abundance from unexpected places.
So, so Jane, tell me about this. Tell me about the relationship area of your life.
What relationship?
Bingo. Would that be fair to say that that's potentially the area of life that you're avoiding the most?
Probably. I've been struggling a lot. Wishing I had a mum or a dad I could go to. I come from a very messy family.
So take a deep breath in. Now what you've got, this is what we're seeing now. This is a story that's in the way. Okay? And this is what we need to shift. So Jane, I would say to you, what if we looked at a soulmate? There's a module in the relationship accelerator, which is the soulmate accelerator. And we're pretty good at relationships, by the way. We've 100 marriages, more actually, an engagement every second month last year during COVID. So would that trigger you more than anything, looking at a soulmate?
I don't even think about that.
Yeah, bingo. So that's what my feedback to you would be over the next 90 days. Let's look at that. You might find by opening your heart and being able to receive love, it just fixes the wealth as well. It's never the area of life that you think. It's often the area that you would avoid at all costs, that you're disassociated from. So Jane, that's my feedback for you. I'd be looking at that. Let's get a soulmate. Let's find the love of your life and help you open your heart. And let me tell you, like, Ange is a good buddy for you on this one, because Ange had resistance, more resistance than you. She was like, no fucking way, Matt. I'm not looking at that area of life. Look at what's happening. It's the area, everybody. It's the area that you would avoid at all costs that unlocks the most amount of authentic power. And so imagine that. And that's what I'll challenge you on. So you're more connected to the story and the past and all of that type of stuff that's in the way. That's the thing that's keeping you stuck. So my challenge for you would be the relationship area, and let's look at a soulmate. Now, the key to a soulmate is to become mates with your soul. And then everything starts to float from there. Awesome. Give Jane a big round of applause, everybody. How cool is that? It's the area. Is everyone getting this? It's the area that you don't want to work on. Give me a yes. Is this making sense? Okay, it is the area that you would avoid at all costs, that you don't want to look at, and that's why we need a mastermind group. That's why you need Fast Fit Free in a supportive environment to be able to unlock that. And again, this is why we're getting these unbelievable results. Let me share some of the results that we're getting from Fast Fit Free and Platinum and our Total Freedom. Or let me give you a roadmap first and foremost. So remember, we talked about wounded self, best version of self, and then mission. That's really what we do with my company. Here's the roadmap. So we have a program called Fast Fit Free. Fast Fit Free, we look at those three areas. That's where we start. And we go wealth, health, or relationships, which is the one that you're avoiding. Okay, great. Relationships, let's accelerate that area. So part of Fast Fit Free, you have 3 courses. Okay. And the objective, as I said, is over that 6-month period is to do all of those 3 courses to turn your wounds into your superpowers and to create space. We move to living a charged life, everybody. The next step is our Platinum program, and that's best version of self, where we rise and we become the authentic leader. And all of those skill sets that I was telling you about, which is learning about the unconscious mind, learning how to turn limiting patterns into patterns of power in yourself and other people, learning how to coach yourself, how to coach other people, amazing for parents, managers, and also to go and build side hustles. Everyone should be building a side hustle right now. This is the new world. We need to be increasing income. If you look at inflation, all of that type of stuff, we need to be treating ourselves like a business. And we give you all of that in Platinum. We give you our Excellence Now, which is our mindset course. We give you Coach Now, which is our coach certification course. We give you Influence Now, which is our speaker course. We help people, after 5 days that are petrified of public speaking, walk onto any stage and engage an audience. And then we have our Total Freedom. Our Total Freedom program is where we really start to get connected to the mission. And so we take people based on their budget. If you do Platinum, you get the courses for life. But this is where we start. And this is where what we would love to help you guys on the journey. You look at our Total Freedoms, the results that they're getting at the moment are unbelievable. Okay, and I'll go through some of those results. So we have incentives at the moment that if you do Platinum, we can package Fast Fit Free in there for you. And as I said, with Platinum, you get the courses for life. You get a lifetime reset on that. So let me share some of the results that have been happening. Okay, and this is over the last, 6 to 12 months, basically. So Richie, second session, transformed his relationships, systematized his business, did 103,000 after one session, can you believe? He came along to Ultimate Life Recharge and proposed to his partner. Remember I said we get a whole heap of proposals? Kerry McGregor, she had a 15-minute intervention. She was seeing a psychologist, I think, for 10 years. We switched on her power center, and it was 15 minutes. It was actually a demo. And you can even see her demo on our Fast Fit Free group and also YouTube. Really, really amazing. How cool is this one? Ian Hoskins, 4 properties to 57 properties in 18 months. And I helped him release anxiety that was holding him back. Adam and Heidi, I've told you about, making an extra $1 million per year, 10 months. They couldn't even afford mentoring with me. Mindset and Wealth Group, 475,000 in 6 weeks. I think, Jamie, you were part of that. John and Caroline, Melbourne-based business, was decimated. This is another wedding that happened through our organization, by the way. And now they do weddings, which is awesome. And so Melbourne destroyed their business. And so we came up with this concept of, what if you did weddings from home? The money that you would, spend on the wedding, renovate your home, add value to your home, and then do the wedding at home. And this just exploded. They've won Best Wedding Events Business with the Australian International Bridal Awards, I think it is. They won that. And I was talking to Caroline. They've just had another baby, and with the work that they've done with me, they've doubled their rates, and they've increased their profits enormously. And they're at the point now where I've helped them systematize their business, where they actually don't need to be there, and which is really, really exciting. But I think the big thing with them is that I've helped them so much around their health and their relationships by doing the mindset work. Recently, like John was suffering from anxiety. He'd walk into rooms and his mind would just go ballistic. He'd start analyzing everyone. And I did an intervention with him recently, and it just shifted all of that. It's, we talk about the financial stuff, because it's a good measurement, but the most important things to me is the relationships, is the relationship with yourself and changing that polarity inside. You're just seeing a byproduct of all of these results. What else do we have? Asmitha, she couldn't attract a partner. She did Fast Fit 3, and she was in the Mindset Accelerator, the Relationship Accelerator one. She has more relationships and dates than she's ever had in her life. And she's just increasing her levels of happiness and fun. I love this stuff. Diane, amazing. Diane's on here at the moment. Diane was in a significant challenge when she called me. She called me actually about public speaking. And after a bit of a chat with her, I knew it was going to be more than that. And Diane, she took massive action. She came along, did Ultimate Life Recharge, Fast Fit Free, Platinum, all of the different courses. And she not only can now, present, she's now winning awards for presenting. She's launched multiple businesses. She left a debilitating relationship. She's lost 10 kilos. And she almost did her first $1 million month. This business has only been going for, I think, 12 to 18 months. and she's on track for this $100 million 5-year plan, which is really, really exciting. Diane's on here at the moment. Andrew, another relationship. So Andrew doubled his business. They launched their program in New York, also launched a new do-it-yourself program online. And then after Breakthrough Bootcamp, his ordeal was to propose to his partner. And so he proposed to his partner, Emily Enger, after one session, massively grew her business to, I think, almost 14K Aussie. Second session's now buying her dream home, and she thought it would take 5 years. This is just, some of the results. We've got, Jamie on this call, she's smashing it. Her partner, Tim, doing amazing things. Obviously, we've got Ange on here, who was at the last Ultimate Life Recharge, now 16 kilos down, attracting a relationship. This is what I'm saying, like every one of our grads that are part of these programs are getting incredible results, especially our Total Freedoms. They're just really, really smashing it. And now the world's opening up as well again, which is really, really exciting. So there's enormous opportunities. And so if you're interested in taking this journey, whether it be, starting with Fast Fit Free, turning your wounds into your superpowers, moving into overflow, jumping into platinum, rising to a new level of leadership, and then having those skills, and then moving into Total Freedoms. The Total Freedoms, we're often partnering with Total Freedoms. We've got an events company if you want to coach, if you want to speak. All of these things are possible with all of these programs, but you can start wherever you want. You can start wherever you want with whatever budget you have with my company and progressively move every step of the way. So I have an offer for you guys. I'm really excited about this offer. It just requires a $47 deposit. The $47 deposit will just lock in these prices. You're not locked into anything. And then we want to catch up with you and have a chat and put a roadmap in place. We want to look at, what's the area of life that you're avoiding? We want to look at what your budget is and then put you in the appropriate packages. Some of you might just go, you know what, I just want to do mindset and relationship accelerator or wealth accelerator, or some of you might go, you know what, I want to do Fast Fit Free, be part of that community, or platinum or Total Freedom, whatever it is. We just need to look at what your budget is and then go from there. Everybody should have a self-care budget right now. So important. Self-care budget should be your number one. If I look at billionaires, this is what they do. They have a self-care budget, that is first, then savings, and then they spend the rest on crap. Whereas what most people do is they spend everything on crap and really suppressing their wounds, disassociation, suppressing their wounds, drugs, alcohol, food, all of that type of stuff, then maybe a little bit in savings, often zero on self-care. We need to change that. Self-care first, savings, then the leftovers on this stuff. You need to become the most important asset, everybody. Just by putting that structure in place and making yourself a priority and investing in yourself, everything starts to change around your self-worth. Versus what a lot of people do is they put themselves last, they give everything away. So even if it's $20 a week, $50 a week, $150 a week, you can do all of our courses, not a problem. Okay, but I would say, let's sit down, let's work out a budget. There's no pressure or anything like that. It's just a friendly conversation. But I would say put the deposit down. I'm going to give you a link in a second. Maybe a normal pattern is to sit on the fence, to avoid, not the right time, don't have enough money, all of that type of stuff. I'd say fight those patterns, because remember, if you make life decisions from I don't have enough time, or life decisions from I don't have enough money, or life decisions from, it's not the right time, or I need to think about it, or I need to talk to someone else, you'll be on their goal plan. So I'd say everyone can typically afford $47. If you can't, talk to us. But I think it's time to make some new decisions. This challenge, the momentum will last for maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks before the wounds come in. And you may have had that experience before, where you set a goal, you're really motivated, and then after a couple of weeks, you forget the goal. And you go into what I call goal amnesia. And the reason is the wounds come in and attack it. And especially if we're working on things that you're avoiding at all costs, the wounds are going to fire. That's why you want to be in Fast Fit Free. You want to be in the weekly accountability. You want to with the expert sessions as well. Ideally, if we can afford it with your budget, you want to bolt on one-on-one coaching with that as well. And if you do that for the next 90 days, 6 months, wow, look at the transformations. And as I said, Fast Fit Free is our cheaper program. And I think everyone on this call should be jumping into that, okay? Or at least one of the accelerators. So it's only $47. Here's the packages. This is for Fast Fit Free. So As I said, we can do payment plans on all of this stuff. Don't freak out about the money. So we have a bronze ticket, and that is $697. And it's just all of the recorded sessions. So you get the 3 programs: Wealth Accelerator, Health Accelerator, Relationship Accelerator. So the bronze, you just don't get the support package. The silver package, what you get is the weekly call as part of that package. Okay, so you get a weekly call, you get an accountability group, plus a weekly call. You have me every second week coming in like this. How cool would that be? And so accountability on the health, wealth, and relationships. And we really take you through these programs and ensure that you're focused. The best one, I think this is, if you're going to do it, if you can with your budget, do this one. And that is the gold. It's only $2,997. Now, I don't know if you've realized how much one-on-one coaching costs out there. Like, we've bolted on one-on-one coaching. So you get to work with one of our coaches, the best in the business when it comes to RCT. You get to work one-on-one plus the accountability plus the 3 courses. This is so powerful. Remember what I said to you: education based on results, one-to-one mentoring, be part of a mastermind group, and to be building your network. What we do with the accountability group, we get you networking with people that are at the next step. So in the accountability group, you've got Fast Fit Free people, plus you've got platinum people. Okay, so you're able to build your network with people that are getting really amazing results, like Angie's and Diane's that are like doing amazing things. They get to be part of your community, your environment. So you can see with our courses, we're hitting all of these things. As I said, if you want to do platinum, and I really recommend that, because you get this plus lifetime reset and all of these amazing things. And then total freedom, you know, that's if you want to take it to the next level. But that's another conversation down the track once you're kind of getting results in your life. How good is this package, everybody? As I said, like, if you can afford $50 a week, you can fundamentally do all of these packages. So what we'll get you to do right now is get off the fence, everybody. Start to put yourself first. Go to this link now. Rachel's going to put it in the chat for you. Go to this link now, yourfutureevents.thrivecart.com, fast fit free, and put your deposit down. Your deposit's actually going to get you an RCT session that's worth $300 with one of our experts. And we're going to put a roadmap in there for you. We're going to go, this is the area. We're going to look at your goal that you've set in this training. And then we're going to, no. This is the area that you need to focus on, just like I did just before with a couple of you. No. That's the area. Remember, we typically take the path of least resistance. We're going to work that area out. We're going to put a roadmap in play. They might do some release work with you if some stuff's coming up. And then we're going to look at your budget and go, I can afford X amount a week. And then we might go, okay, we'll start with one of the accelerator programs, or do Fast Fit Free. Or some of you are like, I want to do platinum. I want to learn these skills. We can do that for you. Okay. But what I say to you is, you have spent the last 3 days getting momentum. Now the key is to put a structure in place. Remember, structures create outcomes. Don't leave this training and do the structure of fixing, which is, I need to fix this, I need to fix this, I need to fix this. Oh, then I'll do it. You won't do it. And you'll lose all of this wonderful momentum. So I would say, rise up to a new level of leadership. Don't let these wounds make decisions. Let's move to the opposite polarity of what you want and make decisions from there, and let us support you. A lot of people, they just instantly reject situations like this and go, oh, I can't do it, or whatever it is, when they actually haven't had the session and they haven't found out the process. Do yourself a favor, invest this 47, just this 47, and just have the session and work out a game plan, because you'll be so further ahead. This is a destiny changing conversation, everybody, because 80% of people that don't put a deposit down, we've looked at the stats, they don't do anything. And then what happens is they come to Live It Now or an event in the future and they go, I wish I'd fought my wounds. I wish I'd challenged that belief that I don't have enough money. I wish I challenged that belief that I don't have enough time. I wish I challenged that belief that I never followed through and nothing works, because they see other people that were in the courses getting incredible results. I can't share this enough. Like, this program that we've put together is the best on the marketplace, and it is the most life-changing. And our structure, what we've set up, we are changing the personal development industry. And that's our mission, to create a positive world, one person at a time. So The next thing that we need to do is announce the winner. It's really, really hard. A lot of you have been taking massive action, but the actual winner of this is Kaz. So Kaz, you have been, you have been the most vocal, the most energized. You've been taking massive action. You're reaching out to me behind the scenes, all of these things. So we're giving it to you. And the prize is this. You can choose from one of the Accelerator courses. So we're giving it to you for free. Whether it be a wealth accelerator, a health accelerator, or a relationships accelerator, you can choose one. And I just want to say a big congratulations, and your commitment, your intensity, you're commenting on everyone else, you're supporting everyone, you're supporting my team in the background.
Oh my God.
So congratulations, my dear, and congratulations for everybody. Like I'd love everyone in this group. We've got such a beautiful group here. I'd love everyone to continue together. And I'd love to see everyone next week in Fast Fit Free with me together. And let's continue this for the next 6 months. Support this tribe. We've got this momentum together. Imagine if all of us could be working together and really making this impact. And so please, put your deposit down, at least have a chat. And we'd love to have you in this course. We really would. So I hope you enjoyed this challenge, everybody. It's been wonderful, and it's been wonderful connecting with you. It's also been wonderful to see some old faces in this program as well. And as I said, I just love you guys to take the next step and to be working with you for the next 6 months. And so I hope to see you next week, guys. But anyway, click on the link. We'll email you the link as well. And just don't let your wounds win. Like, just, fuck the wounds. Let's challenge the wounds, and let's rise to a new level of leadership, everybody. Again, thank you so much for being here. I hope you've enjoyed this challenge. Take care. Hopefully see you in some live events as well, everybody. Bye for now.